Hi guys, I'm We're Up on Cloud9 and today I'm going to be doing an RPG Maker VX Ace tutorial on movement. In almost every RPG I've ever come across, at some point a character other than the player is going to be moving around a bit, whether that's going to be randomly or otherwise. So today I'm just going to show you and help you understand the basics of moving. As usual, you're going to go into event mode and then click on an event. And then you're going to open up event commands, and under the second tab you'll find the movement section. In RPG it's quite extensive, the range of options you have got. You have transfer player, set vehicle location, set event location, scroll map, set move route, and get on off vehicle. Okay, we're going to go down the list just to make things easier for these 6 options. So transfer player, as it sounds, you're going to be transferring the player to a different map or point on the map you're already on. Now, direction, that's the direction that you want your player to be facing once they've been transferred. Retain is just keep it the same as the last movement it did, by the way. And fade, that's basically how you want it to fade in and out. Normally I would highly recommend white, as it sounds, it's going to be fading in and out from white. And none I wouldn't recommend because it's quite confusing just with no fade. I have tried that before thinking it would be a really good idea and it looked really strange, so I wouldn't advise that. Alternately, if you guys are feeling lazy, which I really wouldn't blame you for, hold down Control 1 and it will do the new transfer event little pop-up thing. I'm going to use that for now, and then this random map I made in like 2 seconds. It's nothing special, by the way. And click OK. Yeah, again, it's got the direction thing. And a good feature about this is it already comes, if I move it up here, with a sound which is move, like this. And that's used a lot. It's my favourite sound effect. How sad is that? Okay, so yep, it's set there we go. It always has to be on player touch down here, unless it's set by an auto run event or an action button or something else, but normally it's player touch, especially if it's a door. It's naturally set on player touch. Okay, next event we're going to load up is set vehicle location. That's exactly as it sounds. You're setting the location of a vehicle. The vehicles you've got are boat, ship and airship, but you can change this in system, which is it's over here in database under system. There you go, you can change the vehicle graphic for all of those. So back to where we were. So you can set the location on the map. I'm just going to set this on map 2 over here because it looks a little bit like a dock. Designation with variables, I'm not going to explain that mostly because I haven't come across it. So it must not be that important because I've been doing RPG Maker for a long time and I've never felt the need to use designation with variables when it comes to set vehicle location. I'm just going to set that to player touch. Okay, that's going to be next to it. Okay, the next option here is set event location. That's as it sounds, you're setting the location of the event. It's pretty much the same as set vehicle location, so I'm not going to explain it all over again. It basically does the same thing but for an event, not a vehicle. Scroll map. Now, for example, let's say your player or a character or anything has fallen unconscious, and the second they wake up, you're not going to think, oh okay, let's just carry on with my life. You're probably going to think, wow, where am I? And look around. Not to sound really stupid, but that's probably what you're going to do. So, scrolling map is basically a way of looking around the screen without having to walk around. You can set the distance in squares or tiles, the direction and the speed. Keep the speed the same unless it's a really, really slow gaze, which isn't used very often. Underneath you can see the most commonly used option for moving, and I've used this 100 times at least, move route. Now, I'm not going to explain all of these because moving down, moving left, moving right, moving up, turning, blah blah blah, that's fairly simplistic. The only ones I'm going to explain, which because it's quite complicated, is jump. Now you need to be quite obviously smart for this, and maths really isn't my strong point, so I'm not very good at the whole x-axis, y-axis jumping, -1, -2 coordinates and stuff. So I just had to really experiment and see which direction the player jumped. So I'd advise you to do that, but I will provide a little explanation in the description, just a bit more about jumping, because it did take me a long time. Waiting, take a step, wait a frame, 60 frames equals a second by the way guys. Switch on off, fairly self-explanatory again, turning, move away from player, step forward, step backward. Oh, you can pick the thing that's going to be moving over here, and under options, repeat action, that's do it more than once, or constantly, skip if cannot move, or that's, yet again, skip if you bump into a wall or something stops you from doing something. And the next option is await for completion. Now that's just if you want it to wait for a second, like, wait, if you want the whole game to wait for that event to have moved, and then carry on with speech, movement, blah blah blah. Now the final actual tab here is get on and off vehicle. Now you can see there's no way you can find out more information about this, but it's basically, as it sounds, getting a player to go on or off a vehicle if you want them to stop at a certain bit. And so we've covered all the tabs, but now the last thing I wanted to move on to was autonomous movement. So it's fairly easy really, you just pick a character. That's my favourite character by the way, I use it a lot. And the type of movement, now that can be fixed, which is staying still, random, I'm not even going to explain that, approach, come towards you, or custom, that's like, yeah. I usually do random if they're just citizens or random people walking around that aren't fairly important to the plot line. And speed, how fast they're going to move, and frequency, how frequently they're going to move. I'd suggest normal on each. For like a meander kind of walking, I'll just show you this event now. I've not made her say anything by the way, so it's not going to be very interesting, you're just going to see her walking around. Okay, here's the lady. Sorry, the game's going very slow at the minute, I've got a lot of other tabs opened up at the minute. If I wait till she moves past, very patiently. Okay, by stepping on this square, remember, that's where we set the boat location. And then we get transferred. Dun 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 dun. Wow, this is going very slow. And there's the boat. The annoying thing about a boat is that it only travels on the light blue water, but that can be very useful if you don't want the game to be over in an instant when they find a boat. And there we go. Now, that's all I've got time for on this edition of the RPG Maker VX-Ace tutorials on movement this time. But if you have any requests for future videos, or just anything I might have missed out, anything you didn't understand or want me to explain a bit more, just leave a comment in the box below. And I always check the comments, by the way, because it's good to know what you guys think about these videos and whether I should keep on doing them at all. So, hopefully you enjoyed this video and it helped you. So if it did, can you like, subscribe, do anything to show that you like this video. That's all from me guys. This is Cloud9. Bye!